Vaccine will be available within the next 18 months.
I have business here for about 25 years.
We have an agenda, obviously.
Hello and welcome to the second remote edition of the Stony Brook News, brought to you from the safety of our homes. I'm Anna Correa. Hospitals across New York State, including Stony Brook, are in desperate need of Spanish-speaking translators. Stony Brook Medicine has requested help from individuals who aren't necessarily in the medical field. Currently, the Brentwood community on Long Island has been the hardest hit, which has a large Hispanic population. Reporter Luis Sanchez spoke to Javier Aget-Torres, a licensed nurse, about his experience.
I have reached out to help translate for Spanish-speaking families at Stony Brook Hospital, where the need was great. However, I'm currently on a hold as the positions have been filled. And I'm going to tell you this, the need was so much that they reached out to volunteers in the community to come in and translate for these families who are just, overwhelmed with what's happening inside of the ICUs, emergency rooms. And it's so important to have first responders, nurses, and doctors to be able to effectively communicate what the treatment plan is going to be with these families.
Students who aren't local to Stony Brook University may face problems attending classes in different time zones. Scott Terwilliger reports.
Some Stony Brook University students who have returned home face a new challenge: time zones. Many classes over Zoom are still conducted live during their scheduled time, posing challenges to students like Varain Palta. Palta lives in India, which is 9.5 hours ahead of Eastern Standard Time.
The only one bad class I have is like a class that was like at 5 p.m. back in the States. And over here it's like 3 a.m. in the morning, and it's a 3-hour class, so it goes all the way from 3 a.m. to 6 a.m. in the morning.
Stony Brook University had 4,600 international students enrolled in the fall 2019 semester, and they make up 17% of the student body. Charlie McMahon, Interim Senior Vice President and Enterprise Chief Information Officer, told the Stony Brook Statesman that the university has tried to find ways for them to still participate. Zoom is able to record video conferences. Although the recording function is unavailable to students, professors are still able to record lectures.
All of my professors know that I'm taking classes with, and they've been very accommodating with it as well.
Stony Brook University recently announced the move to online classes for the summer, which may cause problems for students living across the world. For Stony Brook News, I'm Scott Terwilliger.
City and state officials in New York are in a standoff over the decision to reopen schools this academic year. New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio announced over the weekend that schools will remain closed during the summer. But New York Governor Andrew Cuomo said that the schools are a key part of restarting the economy, and that Bill de Blasio doesn't have the final say. Cuomo said that he is working with officials throughout New York City, as well as in Connecticut and New Jersey, to coordinate school reopenings. Now that students are home and long-distance learning, many of them are in the front lines as essential workers. Reporter Mosa Azapesa has a story.
Personal protective equipment is being used by university students that are now on the front lines as essential workers at pharmacies, restaurants, doctors' offices, and more. COVID-19 has drastically changed the day-to-day operations at the workplaces that are still open. A student at John Jay College of Criminal Justice shares her experience.
Now the focus, I would say, at work is more towards stocking the aisles and the products that people are looking for. So we're not wasting time with candy or shampoo or deodorant, stuff like that. People need toilet paper, hand sanitizer, Bounty, things like that, baby formula, things that they can't get anywhere else, that is very low everywhere. And if you don't get it right away, then you're locked out until next week.
Despite the global shortage of life-saving equipment, employers are managing to provide protection for their employees. A student at University of Buffalo explains.
Yeah, they have masks for us, gloves. We have like these little like air filter like clips that you clip onto your clothes, and they also bought an air filter monitor, and they keep it by the cash registers for us.
Being a student and an essential worker in the healthcare field myself, I've seen how important personal protective equipment such as this mask and these gloves can be for protecting our students that are out there working and their loved ones. Reporting from home for Stony Brook News, I'm Melissa Azofifa.
The U.S. Labor Department's latest figures show 22 million unemployment claims have been filed for over the past 4 weeks. Governor Cuomo said Wednesday that New York will begin to gradually reopen businesses, but the crisis will not be over until a COVID-19 vaccine is available. The state is now recording nearly 2,000 cases a day. The president also moved to halt funding for the World Health Organization following criticism over its handling of the pandemic. Meanwhile, coronavirus cases have surpassed 2 million worldwide. Former Vice President Joe Biden has received presidential endorsements one after another as Bernie Sanders, Barack Obama, and Elizabeth Warren joined the list of Democrats to endorse the candidate. Sanders said to his supporters that not supporting him is irresponsible. A librarian at the Melville Library in Stony Brook University's West Campus tested positive for COVID-19 on Tuesday, prompting the Department of Informational Technologies and Stony Brook Libraries to close. The Central Reading Room was the only space on the West Campus that offered the 2,000 students approved to stay on campus access to technology and will remain closed until it can be disinfected. The sink will now be located in the old engineering building with limited hours for the remainder of the semester. A virtual sink site is still available to all students on and off campus. The link can be found in the description box of this video. Health experts and Suffolk County leaders held a Facebook Live discussion last night on COVID-19 in local communities. The panel explained the importance of social distancing and the road to a new normality. And an ER doctor described to locals what an ER room looks like as the pandemic marches on and some signs of improvement.
Our emergency department and our hospital in dramatic, almost apocalyptic way was taken over by this disease. We went from 3 ICU beds, 3 patients on a ventilator to 60 patients on a ventilator in about 2 weeks. We're up beyond 100 now, but I will tell you that the volume now is dropping.
We will continue to work hard to bring you the latest news for Stony Brook News. I'm Anna Correa. Stay safe and healthy, Sea Wolves.